Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the project called Quiet Time. If you'd like to purchase this pattern or the tool that we're going to be showing, please visit our website. We're going to be using a great collection of really modern prints, 10-inch squares, pre-cuts, and we're going to pair it up with a new tool that we have called the Clamshell template, and it fits on that 10-inch square so we can cut the pieces for this pillow really quickly. Now you can see that around the edges of the pillow you have just portions of clamshells, and we are going to be cutting away some and squaring things up, but what we need to do is cut out from this template. And I've got it just on a piece of fabric here so we can talk about how this template is placed on the fabric and how it's used. Now the template can also be used as halves, but we're going to use it the entire thing, so you can ignore this center line here. We've got curves on all sides, which means we're going to have a lot of bias edges, but as we work through it, you'll find out that these kind of curve piecings aren't too terrible to work with. We also have a notch here in the top, so it'll tell us where our center is on the block. So once we kind of understand how our template is created, then we can take a 10-inch square of fabric. Take these out of our way for now. I'm going to show you the quick cutting that you can do with this template. The one nice thing that you might want to, if you have one already or you haven't purchased one yet, is a rotating mat, and that will help you always be cutting from a safe direction. So what I'm going to do is just layer up. You could layer mat on top of mat so that you can easily slide, but if it's a smaller one, you don't have to worry about, it's a little easier to maneuver. Now, my template fits on there perfectly. A little bit of fabric on the edges. Nice thing about doing it from the pre-cuts is that you get a variety of fabrics already color coordinated for you. So a lot of us like using that pre-cut. Now I'm using a smaller rotary cutter here. The blade is a little smaller. That means that it can go into this curve more easily. So what I'm going to do is then just cut down through so that I can rotate so that I'm always pushing away from myself. This. Now, this big long curve. Now you can put little sticky tabs or sandpaper tabs under your template if it tends to shift too much for you, but that is the idea, that you get the clamshell shape quickly using that template. Not too much waste. There's always more fabric to buy. Now, once you've gone down through your pre-cut 10-inch squares and cut the number that we require for your pattern, now it's time to lay out those shapes and start the construction process. Oops, I forgot the one little thing. You can mark that notch. If you lay it back on there, we can mark that notch either with a rotary blade, just a little tiny notch there at the very top of our block, or you can go in with the scissors and make a little snip there. So you know where the very top, I just made a little tiny notch so I know where the top of my block is there, my curve. Now, here are some that are starting to be constructed and joined together already. So you kind of have a roadmap of where we're going. Now, you see in this top corner, there's just a portion of a point, a stem piece that's represented here. Some of this is going to be cut away. But the fun part about the clamshell is you get that curve, that graceful line that you want. So what we're going to do is start, we've got pieces already, 1, 2, and 3 already put together here. They may be different color, so just bear with me. But what we want to do is talk about how to add these pieces in. And what I'm going to have you do is you're going to take a tool, a marking tool. Now, depending on what color your fabrics are, you may need a marking tool that will work on darks. So I have one that has white chalk in it. If I can get it, there we go. So the white will show up a little bit better than a dark. If I were marking on the gray, I could use the black. But what I'm going to do is go in, I'm going to mark the corner a 1/4 inch in from each of these cut pieces and put a dot. That tells me starts and stops on this block. So then a 1/4 inch in from both of these corners also. Both sides, the 1/4 is right at the corner of my little ruler. And that will tell me then, remember we made that snip, so there's my halfway point. And that will be more critical when this piece, say for instance, is put in here. So I know where I start and stop down at the bottom, and I know where my center needs to be lined up. Not quite as critical here, but I do need to know my starts and stops to get in here. So what we're going to be doing is putting right sides together. I'm going to take just a few pins, and I'm going to lay right sides together here, and I want to have this piece on top. That way, I turn it so that I can easily pin the pieces. Now what I'm going to do is take this little piece here, I'm going to turn it so that I get the pieces, cut edges aligned and put there. And remember we marked, and that's going to be pulled back. I only went to the dot when I was putting it in there. And I'm going to put my pin in right where my chalk dot is there. And you can see I'm right into it there. I'm going to align my cut edges again here. Take that out, got it matched up. Put my pin in there. This is what I want to stitch together. Now, putting clamshell pieces together isn't a beginner technique. It's at least an intermediate, maybe an advanced technique. But if you're determined and you love this project, you will get it done. So what we need to do is put this together. So I'm going to slide this out of the way. We're going to go to the sewing machine. And because the pieces are all engineered to lay right one on top of the other, you can start and stop and have things come out just perfect. Now you're going to want to practice this technique before you start. I would say cut out a few pieces, practice putting these curves together until you feel confident, and then jump into your project. It's always good to learn a new skill. And once I get the first couple stitches, I take my pin out, and then I work my way along that curve, constantly nudging those cut edges together so I can put in a perfect 1/4 inch seam. And you work just a little bit at a time. Don't be in any hurry. This is a enjoy the process kind of project, not a speed demon kind of sewing project. So, and we work our way along the curve, stopping to adjust as you go. If you feel comfortable picking up your presser foot while the needle is stopped and the needle is down, you can pick up your presser foot to align your fabrics. But if you just take your time, you can easily, once you get about 2/3 of the way through the curve, the rest seems to just kind of fall into place. And here I'll just stitch right through almost to the pin, take the pin out, and right off the end. Now, there is our 1/4 inch seam, and you're going to press that in the away from the original here. Now, at this point, we're at the top. We kind of have to tuck this back. We're going to be trimming some of these fabrics away to make a straight line later, so if those overlap a little, it's okay. You're going to press your seam allowances toward the concave shape there away, and you just keep working your way along that top row, adding pieces. When you get down here to the next row, this piece has to be off the edge because we're going to cut away to make a square pillow. When you're working here, you get to work all the way through 2 curves at once. So once you're under the machine, you're going to be working your way all the way along this large curve at the top. And so it's basically putting the matching centers. Remember the center we talked about? Your corners stretched out. It seems messy when you're trying to align it, but remember, pin here, and the rest will walk right together. So once you've got the rows required for your pillow, follow the diagrams, the great diagrams drawn in our patterns. You're going to be taking a ruler at the end, and we'll tuck this back. This part you'll understand once you get to the project, that those overlap just for the time being. What we need to do is cut this corner outside edge here into a straight corner, squared off corner. So what we're going to do Let's lay out our project, and we would have more of them assembled. But where this intersection is, we need to have a 1/4 inch seam here. We need a 1/4 inch beyond the edge here, and you're going to come in then, and the diagrams and the instructions even show you how to cut the outside corners to have a squared off pillow. We also have a tutorial in our So Easy category if you'd like to learn about putting a lap back pillow to finish with binding included. So visit us at the So Easy pillow finishing video if you'd like to see that part. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to see other tutorials, please visit our website.